Hi, race fans from the Land of Legends Raceway. This is your announcer, Steve Ovens, with some off-season content here. And going to introduce the driver of the Phelps Cement Products, FLX Home Solutions, Honeyoy Auto Parts number 3, Justin Haers. Justin, congratulations on your championship. We're going to look at championship night here, and I'm sure it's been a great off-season for you guys celebrating this championship.
Yeah, it sure has. Steve, looking back, what a great night it was, and the way everything unfolded, it was really cool. So, great accomplishment. We're happy to get it done that night.
All right, man, let's get right into it here, and we're going to start. You were in heat race number 1 on this night, and this was particularly important because you and the championship contenders that you were battling with, Rudolph and Britton, not in this heat race. So this was a great opportunity for you to pick up some points. Is that your thought process going into the heat tonight?
Yeah, it definitely was. We knew we had to definitely get as many points in this heat race as we could, and we kind of, knew that going in, and we were supposed to start, I think one row back in this heat race, but I think somebody didn't show up or something. I can't remember, but we ended up getting a good, 5th starting spot, and it just went good.
Well, we're going to see right here from the get-go. I've watched this a few times, but, man, you were making hay right away. Got by 77 to Doucette and made work on Teg here into 3.
Yeah, I knew, I kind of had it planned out in my head that I needed to kind of really hug that bottom into 1 and get by, these cars as soon as I can. And obviously you can see kind of right there I was able to slip by Teg in 3 and 4. So, and here I'm just, searching a little bit on the racetrack, seeing if there's a better groove. And I could see I was kind of closing on Krentz. So,
yeah,
I knew our car was good enough to win this heat race. Now I just kind of got to try to be a little bit patient. Not make any mistakes or hit the mute tires because I knew I was a little bit faster than Krentz was. So here I'm just basically, searching around the racetrack, and you can see I get a good
found
run
a little
off
something off of 2.
Yeah, I seen that kind of the lap before. I got a big run off of 2 there. So my entry into 1 was a lot different that lap than this lap right here.
Krentz is somebody that you've had a lot of good things to say about it. Daniel Johnson has a problem here in the heat, but Krentz was a guy you really had a lot of nice things to say there toward the end of the year.
Yeah, he ran really well. He really kind of surprised a lot of people, and good to see a young kid come up like that and do good things. So,
absolutely. Coming down to the white flag here, all alone out front. Did we, not into specifics, but did we vary from our weekly setup on this night, knowing how much was on the line, or did we go with what we know?
No, we kind of went with what we knew. It was kind of a, we didn't know what to do feature time, because a lot of times when you don't change things for a feature, you're no good, and we were, super in that heat race. So we got the win there, grabbed as many points as we were possibly able to get. So that was a big close that gap from 11.
Yeah,
I think it was.
You had a potential to gain 5 points, and that's just exactly what you did. Did that surprise you?
It really did, because Rudolph probably hasn't been out of the top 3 in a heat race all year, except for that night, and it just worked out where he just, sometimes things just don't go your way in a heat race, and it could be the very first lap where things kind of mess things up.
Sure.
You don't get to where you want to be.
Well, we're now into the top 3 driver intros. This is something that we've never done before, and I'm interested in your perspective here. The fans really seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. Just something, you got to do something different for the fans. We had a lot of supporters there that night, and to have 3 people, battling for the championship is kind of not heard of a lot of.
Yeah.
And if you look back, I don't think between the 3 of us we had a DNF all year.
Yeah.
And not only DNF, but just like not even flat tires in the feature or anything where you need to pit stop and get back out. We kind of, everybody finished every lap of every feature, and that's kind of unheard of. So
absolutely. Yeah, this was pretty cool. This was kind of a little bit of an audible on the officials' side. We kind of were like, how could we make the feature tonight, special? Like, we'd made a big deal all week long about it on social media, but we wanted something to be like, oh man, this is the deal, So now we'll get into, this is the pace lap, and I threw this in here. We had a great crowd that night. The Pepsi car leading the field. Look at all the fans there that night, man. That place was electric.
It definitely was, and fans were there to watch that. That final race of the year for the big blocks, and track was in great condition, as you can see. I mean, not a bump in it.
So what are your thoughts here getting ready to take the green? I mean, I got to imagine the nerves had just been about pegged at that point.
Yeah, when you put the helmet on, it's all go. There's a championship on the line, but I know what I got to do. I got to get to the front as fast as I can.
And you guys are all starting right near each other there. All within 3 rows.
Yeah. So, here first lap, you're just trying to make sure you don't get in any jingles in the first lap where, put yourself in a position where you just knock yourself out of the race. The first lap, here obviously Rudolph split me and
this is a huge moment here.
Yeah.
I mean, going into 3, this right here, Justin, is I've watched this I don't know how many times, and I thought that first lap, you and Rudolph going at it there, that set the tone for the whole race. Like, that's how important this race was that night.
It was important for him to be ahead of me, and it was important for me to be ahead of him. And that's exactly kind of, he split the hole there, and he was trying to get to the bottom down the backstretch, and I couldn't just let him slip in there. I had to kind of, stick my nose in there. And here, we're getting by Britain, so I know I got a really good race car. It's just kind of how we can maneuver through traffic here.
Yeah, absolutely. And at one point here, I mean, our 3 contenders are boom, boom, boom right there. This was just a fantastic race because the other thing too, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but there was a whole race going on out front that at times we I won't say we lost track of, but you kind of lose focus because this is where we're going to crown a champion here.
Yeah. And here, I so bad want to go to the top and try it, but kind of Peter's up there, and Kevin's right there on the bottom, so I can't really get there as bad as I want to try it.
Yeah.
I really wanted to try to get up there, but so now I'm just kind of protecting the spot and not trying to play a lot of defense, racing, just trying to play as much offense as possible. So now, Peter's kind of ducked down to the bottom. And I just want to try to get by all these guys and get going.
Was there in your guys' trailer, before this feature, and here's a moment here, Rudolph actually scoots by. He tries the top now, and he ends up picking off a spot here.
Yeah, he gets by me here. And same thing. He's moving around the track. I'm not really moving around too much yet. So now I just need to hit some marks here and not let him get away from me.
Yeah, kind of keep him in sight. Going back to that point, was there a lot of calculations going on in the trailer before the race, or was it just simply I need to stay ahead of this guy?
Yeah, they were telling me calculations, but my calculations was I'm going to win this damn race.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about it, but.
Man, look at nice move there by Fuller to get the lead. This is where he takes the lead, lap number 8, and ends up leading the rest of the way. Man, Fuller's a guy you've raced together with for quite some time now.
Yeah, I've raced him here at Canandaigua, a bunch of years at Fulton back in the day. He's obviously a great competitor, runs really well.
We didn't catch the pass here, but you got back by Eric. Was that still him trying to make that top work?
I think I got down off at turn 2, got down, the backstretch. I got by him, and I felt like my car. I felt like I kind of faded a little bit there and kind of flattened out, and then I kind of felt like I got picked back up, got going again. So that's where you're looking here. I kind of get back away from him, but the problem is the whole field is spread out. Where I was battling, I was all over Kevin and Peter there 3-4 laps ago. Now they're half a straightaway ahead of me.
Right. And at this point in the race for you, the challenge is we can see it on the ticker up top there. At this part of the field, there was only a 4-point gap for position. So at this point, you're not in position to win the championship, but you see Peter making a move here on Buck, and I think it was right around this time where you started to really kick in gear. Was that just a getting into a rhythm and hitting marks.
I think some of it's that, and some of it is just sometimes your cars either go from the drop of the green, or sometimes it just takes a little bit for the tires to get going and working, and then you get going. And that's kind of what I felt here, like what happened.
So we're working lap 12, lap 13. Are you at this point in the race? I mean, we're about a third of the way through the race. Are you getting worried at all that, oh man, I don't feel like I'm moving as much, or how?
Yeah,
what were you
definitely at this point in the race, I'm figuring, we're just kind of average. We're not really. I mean, I'm not running these guys down at all. I'm not all over them. I'm kind of, very kind of evenly paced with all the guys in front of me.
Okay.
You can see, here Peter, I was underneath him the first few laps of the race, and now he's probably, almost half a straightaway ahead of me.
Yeah. And it was somewhere in here about halfway through the race, all of a sudden we start seeing, the 21A, the 3, we start seeing you guys en route right there too. We start to see you guys. Now we're closing the gap on the guys in front of us. And
yeah, I got by Kevin there down the backstretch. It looked like I passed him going in turn 3. I'm searching right now on the racetrack. I'm almost positive I started around the top of 1 and 2, just to try something different.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're watching Fuller here, and there is a yellow flag that comes up here in the feature, and at that point, Fuller's out to a 11+ second lead. And what are you seeing in how Tim's running right now? I mean, he's kind of entering low, but then letting it drift up. And
yeah, that seems that he likes that line. He kind of enters low into 1. You can carry a lot of momentum in, and you just kind of drift up the track and just kind of end up where you end up in turn 2. That's kind of like what I did there with Kyle.
Yeah.
Drove on the outside of him and just kind of let the car drift up the racetrack, keep your momentum up. And here at this point of the race, my car feels pretty good. I know it's go time.
Yeah.
My car feels comfortable. I can run top or bottom of 1 and 2. So
yeah.
You can see I put a pretty good distance there in Kyle on the lap. And,
I'm
not knowing. I'm thinking Rudolph's on my back bumper this whole race.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you have no idea. And for new fans that are watching this content here, no driver radios, no spotters, the only thing you're going to hear in your ear is the race director if there's a yellow flag. And I know there's one coming up here during this feature, but as of right now you've got the position. You've got 6 points on Rudolph. And then this is an interesting part of the feature to me, too, is because you and Britton now start running down Alan Johnson and Gil Tagg. And like you mentioned on lap 1, where you want to be careful. You don't want to do something. You don't want to, try to be a hero and get caught up in a jingle. This is kind of feels like that to me, is yes, you want to pass cars, but it's almost like you have to pick your spots here.
At this point in the race, my car is pretty good. I think you'll see here in a few laps. I'll go by. I think I passed two of these guys in 1 lap.
Mm-hmm.
But my car's pretty good. I'm pretty stuck.
Yeah.
Can maneuver, and either these guys might be, maybe not quite as good later in the race, or I just maybe stayed the same.
Sure.
Not sure. And all I know is I'm catching them.
Yeah.
So that's a good feeling to have.
Is that something in a 35-lap race that you guys set up for? Like we set up to be good at the end, or?
Not really. Just sometimes it just seems to just happen that way.
Okay.
It really kind of depends on the pace of the race and how their track conditions are.
Absolutely. And I think this is where you start, getting that good run off the top here. I mean, sliding down into 3, man.
Yeah, so the momentum, you're losing a little bit of momentum off of turn 2, but you can carry a lot of corner speed into 3 when you kind of run that line. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to search and try to figure out where I can make up some time here.
Yeah. Yeah, when I've gone back and watched that race, it's about this point here, 10 laps to go. And, I can't even imagine getting under the helmet for Eric here because, he's just...
He's got to be frustrated.
Just struggling and frustrated.
You can't get by these guys. And
yeah.
I've been there. You think you can just wheel out a lane on the outside of him and just drive around them. It's just not working.
Yeah. 9 to go now, and And you've still got that 6-point advantage here where you run on the track. And yeah, we in the tower too, we're seeing this and we're saying, okay, you know, Fuller's gone at this point. You know, if somebody's going to have a chance, it's going to have to be a yellow flag here. But we're also showing Rudolph and Root battling here, thinking the same thing for him. I mean, at this point, just to stay in contention, Eric's got to have a yellow flag here, and we'll get one here in another lap or so.
Yeah, I think so I go. I think that's where I pass. You know, here's where I go by. You know, there's, you know, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So I'm underneath Britton.
Yeah.
And I get tag here too.
Yep.
Down the front stretch. So, you know, I'm feeling pretty good right here.
Absolutely.
But yellow comes out. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't know if I was by tag at the line or not.
Right.
I think I was, but I wasn't sure. So I think they put him back ahead of me, so I must not have been ahead of him at the line.
Okay.
So here I'm thinking the first thing you do is you look at the scorer's tower.
Yeah.
And see where
everybody is.
See where everybody's running.
Sure.
So I remember looking up there, and I think Rudolph was, you know, like maybe 7th or not even on it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's kind of a good thing.
Right.
But also I know there's a yellow.
But you can't get too comfortable because, you know, you don't want to get complacent either.
And like I said at the beginning, we had the idea that this race, we're coming in, we're on offense. We're not going to be on defense.
Yeah.
We're gonna race as hard as we can.
Now there's, you know, I know they've started talking about this a year or two ago at Volusia, and you know they talk about it all the time with late models. But at Land of Legends, there isn't really a really good place for anybody to send you signals, even if they wanted to.
No, there's definitely not. It's funny because you always get your crew guys or friends, or they're like, "Did you see me?"
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you might see them under yellow if they're like standing by the stands or something, but not from the pits. You'll never be able to. You can't see them.
We're about 3/4 of the way through this race, and you've moved around, and I mean, how do you decide where to go and what to do here when you're riding around on these pace laps?
Well, under pace laps, Canandaigua is kind of notorious. If your tires have tire heat in them and you let them cool, they're going to seal up. And what that means is the top of the tire gets like almost like a hockey puck hard, and it's like you are on ice skates after that, and it is not too fun. So it's a balance of making sure you keep your heat in your tires so you can restart good on these restarts. And I think here I'm trying to figure out if Tag's ahead of me or I'm ahead of Tag, because it obviously depends on where I'm starting on this restart. Now,
sure,
I would really like to be starting 4th, and I don't know where we end up here starting, but sometimes if we're going single file or double file.
If only you could have seen this graphic while you were out there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
To kind of know how things were shaking out. But yeah, Dan goes off here with the flat tire, and then we're going to get ready for a restart, and restarting on the backstretch. How do you tackle restarts on the backstretch?
So it's tricky. It's one of the very few places where you restart on the backstretch, but it also makes for great racing.
Mm-hmm.
I've won a lot of races and lost a lot of races here on restarts, and it's real tricky because you have to get into turn 3 perfect if you're running the bottom. You slip up, the guy's going to be right there and slip underneath you. Or you can rim the top and just hammer that thing on the top side and make it work for a lap or two. And a lot of times you have to get back down after you do that. So
yeah.
So I'm sitting 5th here, single file restart. I feel like I can get by Tag here, but I'm trying to get as many as I can here. So
absolutely,
we restart. I go to the top.
Everybody's on the bottom.
Yeah. So I just want to kind of carry my momentum on the outside of them. So I got by Tag now. Drop back to the bottom underneath Alan here, and just kind of see where we stack up here.
Yeah. And again, you're trying to pass every car you can. You don't know what's going on behind you. Regardless of where he was on the scoreboard, this yellow is an opportunity for him to try to get some cars picked off as well.
Yeah, definitely. He did pass I think 2 right there. So working on 3 cars right here. So it definitely helped him out. That restart.
I can tell you at this point, Tom Skabinski's got the calculator fired up.
No doubt.
He's getting it working, and Brad had his spreadsheet going with the graphics here, trying to update that.
Yeah.
And
so here, Sweeney and Allen were battling. I was able to get underneath Sweeney there in turns 1 and 2. Just trying to make sure. Now it's like, okay, hit your marks.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm better than Allen right here. I'm kind of right there on this back bumper. So there's 4 to go. I'm trying to go by Allen here. I don't know if Rudolph's behind me.
Yeah.
If he's if he's working on Sweeney and gets by him, then it's tight. So now I'm like,
yeah,
all right, I got to get by Allen. Allen's one of the cleanest racers there are. So I know he's not gonna rough me up. I race him clean. He's gonna race me clean.
And when the track slicks off, man, he's been that standard for so long at Canandaigua.
Yeah, definitely very smooth. So now I see he kind of got away from me a little bit there. So he's a little bit better than me. I think through 1 and 2, I'm better than him in 3 and 4. So I need to be better than 1 and 2 to get by him. So I'm going to move up the racetrack here a little bit and see if I can, kind of keep some momentum up.
Yeah.
You can see here that did that helped me there.
Yep.
And now I'll probably close right up on him here in 3 and 4. Now I'm going to try the middle because I can't drive through him, so I'll try to go on the outside of him.
Right.
So white flag, I'm letting it all hang out here. I don't know where we are points wise. I have no clue. I'm just giving it for all I got here.
Then here comes the send it move.
Yeah.
And it almost worked too.
Yeah, I got it right beside him. So.
We knew in the tower. You didn't know in the car yet, but yeah, we knew the distance. You just needed one car in front of you. And
so here, I don't know if I won or not, to be honest with you. So I'm waiting to hear they come over and say, 19 to the scales, 14J to the scales, 3 to the scales, 3 to the front stretch. You're track champion.
Oh man! So you learned this before you're even on the scales.
Yeah. So they kind of go through and they said, obviously 19 to the scales, 14J scales, 3 to the scales.
Yeah.
19 to the front stretch, and 3 you're the track champion. So that was definitely pretty cool. I remember I was on the on the scales, and I was like, wow.
Yeah. Are the crew guys up near the scales? Or are they waiting for you to clear?
There's a couple guys there that helped me out by the scales, and they're obviously all excited. But all my guys are kind of where they always stand. So as I was, coming out, there was, just tons of people just high-fiving, stopping the car, and just congratulating me. It was a great scene.
Fuller's headed to victory lane. I come across the mic, and I say the difference was 2 points. I mean, couldn't have been any closer than it was, and you said it, and we'll hear it here in a second. But you talked about the fact that you had so many supporters there at the track, and you did. Man, that is the loudest. This is my 3rd season that I just got done announcing at Land of Legends, and I've not heard a crowd that loud. I mean, it was incredible. And oh, by the way, Tim Fuller won the feature. The one thing is one of those things I'll always remember about this night. We were so focused on the championship battle that, oh, by the way, Tim Fuller won his first race at Land of Legends in 5 years, And, it was. Now, what was funny, too, is as Fuller gets out of the car, the crowd is going crazy. And Fuller afterwards is like, oh, they were going crazy because Justin was going backwards down the front straightaway, saluting the fans. That was cool.
Yeah, and it was definitely cool. I wanted to just show my fans support. Going down the front stretch, seeing them all lined up on the fence when I was driving down on the track. So
that had to be cool. And so now you kind of have this time here. There's a little bit of time where we're working. Doug's talking to Tim Fuller here about the win and all of that good stuff. And then once you've done your lap around and kind of come up and park, what's going on? What are you thinking? I would imagine it's got to be a blur, just sitting there, trying to come to grips with it.
It definitely was. It's because it's hard to even get a win here.
Yeah.
And to get the championship was just awesome, and just like I said, a ton of emotions go through your head. Like all these guys you could see down there, all these guys they worked their butt off on my race car.
Yeah.
And
you got a dedicated bunch.
Yeah,
man.
dedicated bunch, a lot of supporters. So I'm thinking, I'm like, man, this is awesome. So it was obviously my kids and wife and daughter were all there, so that's really really special. My mom, sister, brother.
Yep.
Like I say, all my crew. I got like a ton of people that helped me out, so it was definitely a great night.
Well,
sponsors were there that sponsor me, that made sure they were there to watch.
Yeah, and. We're coming up on a moment here that I think is pretty cool. I mean, a lot of times the winner of the race that goes right to victory lane, and you get that moment right away. Instant gratification. Well, here, your crew is about to push you up to victory lane to celebrate the championship. And as I watched this happen that night, I just had visions of, when the driver wins the Indy 500 and the crew is pushing them to victory lane there at Indy. I'm watching what's about to happen, and that's all I could think about was, man, this is a big, big deal. Mom's there.
My mom, my son, my daughter. My daughter was pretty excited. She was crying down there victory lane. She's like, "You did it, Dad."
Yep.
So Tim comes over, congratulates me. So that's like I said, I've raced with him for a number of years. Great competitor, does a great wheelman, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And then here it comes. Crew's gonna push in. This was really cool.
Yeah, I didn't think of it the way you just said it, but it's like pushing your car, and that's definitely cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those little things that, going back and doing this with you now, I mean, these are just things you guys are going to be able to, regardless of, what races you run or what accomplishments you have, nothing's going to beat this right here, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Kids up on the roof.
Yeah, the kids, they think I'm famous, so it's definitely.
That's a great picture right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely pretty cool. My son, he's 6 years old. My daughter's 11, so they love the racing, and this has been part of my life since I've been young. So
yeah,
definitely an awesome night.
Man.
Congratulations. How's this one rate compared to some other moments in your career?
Doug's talking to you about, what this means and stuff. I mean, you've won the sportsman title there, and I'm sure that had to be pretty special, but man, this has got to, just take it up a notch.
Yeah, it definitely does. Big Block Championship, Land of Legends, something that be on the record books, forever. So.
What year did you started racing at Land of Legends?
2005 with Big Blocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Long time.
Yeah.
And before that?
Yeah, I ran Sportsman in '99 to start.
Okay.
It's just unbelievable, and I tell you what, it's
yes.
Talking about that good race car, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough getting going and getting past.
Doug always hits the right questions.
He
too,
does.
You know what I mean?
He does. I'll tell you, myself, I've learned so much from Doug when I first got started is I would have a list of questions in my head I want to ask a driver, and if you kind of went in a different direction, I didn't know how to bring it back, and Doug is so good at that. Be able to take your answer and keep it on into the next thing.
Pretty special.
Yeah.
So cool though.
Beginning of this year,
good stuff.
I did my homework, and I said to myself, if I have a year like I did in 2020.
This is what question I had here in Victory Lane. You talked about, the struggles that you guys had. I mean, how close were you to saying, I don't know if I want to do this stuff anymore?
It's not that you never want to do it, like never want to give up and not do it, but like this stuff's hard, and you can ask any guy that races, and when you get a couple of years where you just kind of struggle and don't get the finishes that you want, I mean, it takes a toll on you because I set my standards pretty high.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to win every race, but
Yeah.
I want to be relevant when I'm out there.
You want to do well for yourself.
Yeah.
All this crew you talk about, you know.
Yeah. And you know, it's just it's a humbling sport, man. And you go from one year to the other, and we just in 2020 was just a bad year. We just struggled.
Yeah.
You know, we had some decent runs, but we just with the COVID and everything going on, it was just like we just never could get in a rhythm and get going. And then this year we just. You know, I just went to work. I kind of, you know, I sat and talked to my wife and family. I said, listen, I gotta spend more time doing this. I gotta spend more time learning some stuff. I said, I'm gonna take Florida off. I'm not gonna go to Florida and race this year.
Yeah.
I don't think my program is competitive to go down there, and I want to just go down there and just kind of watch and see what's going on down there and what people are doing, and then assess my program from there.
Yeah.
And I think it paid off because when we came out of the box this year, we came out of the box strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, went to Mercer, which I'd never been to Mercer before ever, and that was our first race year, and finished third there, and then went to Can-Am, was really fast there, and you know, just the year just kind of right from the start was good.
Yeah. How big was that first win of the season here at Land of Legends?
Oh, it was awesome. Like I was saying, Victor Lane, you don't know if this is going to be your last because you know, every year I would always get a few wins, you know, and then I go a few years without getting a win. So
yeah,
to get it, and that was obviously my first race, you know, since my dad passed that I won. So it was definitely special, and yeah, you can see all these people. I mean, these are, I mean, this is like
this is a massive humanity.
Yeah, this is everybody that came to support me, and,
yeah,
and you know, you're looking back and you got just people, just you know, from fans to you know, most of this is my family.
Yeah,
and their spouses and sponsors son. And
got the dogs.
They got the
got
dog
everybody.
in there. So, I mean, it's more than just, you know. You can see there's people, and you know, people support me from all over. It's awesome. I feel I'm very grateful for it.
Absolutely. So, and it's one of those things too where we celebrate the championship, we stretch it out as long as we can, but then there's another race coming up, and it's like, you know, you try to. I gotta imagine it's tough to try to soak in as much as you can, you know, in the time that you've got.
Yeah, because you want to. I'd want to be out there for an hour.
Yeah.
You know, just celebrating that championship.
And then right before we cut away here, I saw that you said, "Hey, I need a shot with Mom," and that's awesome. That was great.
Yeah. They try to. You know, the guys at the Victor Lane, they're very good. They wanted to get everybody in there they can, but they know they're on a time schedule. It's time scrunch. You know, we got, you know, I think probably a couple more features left after this one. So, I'm kind of like the ringleader too. I'm like, all right, next guy's in here, get in here. You know, so I want to get everybody in there to make sure they get a picture and have something, you know, forever. So,
yeah.
It was awesome.
All right, man. Well, congratulations again on this championship, and thanks for doing this too. I know, you know, to set aside some time for us to do this kind of thing. We want to get out some content, do some things we've never done before, and I want to send a shout out to Paul Cole, our promoter at the track, for every time we come to him with an idea like this, he's like, yeah, do it. What are you asking me for? Go ahead and do it. So, and I appreciate you being on board too, man, because I think that your fans and fans of the track are just going to have an appreciation to kind of get in the driver's helmet, and hopefully we can do this a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I appreciate it when you came and asked me to do this. I was all on board because I think it's very important for the fans to kind of get a driver's perspective of kind of what's going on and what they're thinking kind of behind the wheel, and especially on a night where, you know, so much was on the line. So
absolutely,
I'm just glad I'm the one here talking to you.
Yeah, maybe we'll do this again next off season. What do you say?
That sounds like a game plan to me.
All right, folks, that's Justin Haers with a retrospective from Championship Night 2021.